The 2023 draft, in my opinion, suffers from a lack of true first-round talent. I'm definitely not alone in saying that. There are some good prospects projected to go rounds 2 and 3. To me, most of the prospects, round 1 prospects, are barely discernible from the ones in 2 and 3 in terms of talent, projected impact. I think the strength of this draft is in rounds 2, 3. I think if the Ravens could somehow manage to collapse their draft into just rounds 2 and 3, there'd be a great chance of getting 4 impact players. As far as receivers, I'm lower than most, I think, on the projected first-round receivers. I do see them mostly as number 2s as it relates to the NFL offense. That's not necessarily a bad thing, particularly as it relates to the Ravens, getting a young number 2 receiver. Just not sure you want to take that guy in the first round. I can see what the Ravens like, for example, about Zay Flowers. He's a space guy. He's a guy that can take a simple drag route, outrun pursuit, and turn it into 15-yard gain in a similar manner to the way you would see an explosive back outrun pursuit on an outside zone run. That does make him dangerous. He's got a noticeable and immediate burst, very, very noticeable on tape at full speed, and that makes him a bit rare, and it's different than just pure speed. I can see the attraction to Zay Flowers. I have a friend that truly has an eye for receivers, and he does swear by him. That's his guy. In the same way that he swore by Cooper Kupp pre-draft years ago, that was his guy. He was on Cooper Kupp. So that carries some weight for me. Space is a word I'm sure that's being put out there by the Ravens coaching staff. I think it's a focal point. You get that feeling in this year's offensive plan. Guys like Zay Flowers and Quentin Johnson, guys who can take a now screen or a shallow cross and be explosive after the catch. I think it's a big reason, one reason, that the Ravens are attached to or like those two players. Jalen Hyatt, to me, is an intriguing trade back, if even only a few spots candidate. I do like him. To me, he's a better version of Torrey Smith. If he gets a clean release, watch out. I'll use the word space again. You get him that matchup in space on a safety, and it's a wrap. It's a wrap. He doesn't have great run after catch, but you know what you're getting with him. And he's a fit in any offense. He's a weapon, I think, in any offense. I want to like Addison. I do like him, but I like him in the same way I liked Nelson Aguilar and maybe even a guy like Robert Woods coming out, in hindsight, very much as second-round guys. The receiver I am going to pound the table for is the receiver that's on our screen. It's Nathaniel Dell. To my eye, none of the aforementioned wide receivers, the first-round guys that I've watched, can touch him as a route runner. None of them. In that sense, he is the best receiver in the class that I've watched. If he's clean, he's going to be open. He's a consistent separator everywhere that I've watched him. And I don't understand, other than his diminutive stature, he's 5'8", 163, 165, why he's not being run more. Dell is being projected to go in round 3. It would surprise me a little if he makes it that far. If he's around in round 3 and the Ravens grab him, to me, that's a steal. This year's running back class is a pretty strong one. A lot of backs who are a lot of fun to watch in this class. I think it's reasonable to expect the Ravens will be looking to draft a running back if there's one that they like, as this is JK's last year on his deal. I'm not sure where Gus is in his deal, but I know he's getting close to the end of it. Bijan Robinson is the consensus first back for most people. He's not a pound-the-table prospect for me, per se, but he's close and certainly a great back and a real fun watch. When I compare him to JK, purely as a runner, even though they're both really good and it's very close, I do prefer JK. I think JK has more of a propensity to make something out of nothing based on the games I've watched. In addition, I think JK is going to get on the edge of a defense a little more consistently. He does not, however, measure up to Robinson as a pass catcher or in pass pro. Bijan Robinson is as good in pass pro as any back that you're likely to see, and that's right now coming out. Add to that the fact that he's a legit pass catcher. He's got great hands, runs routes, not just screens and check downs, but legit line him up in the slot, look for him up the seam type routes. This might seem out of whack to some, but I'll make an argument that he's just as much of a weapon as a pass catcher as almost all the first-round receivers whose names are bandied about. Robinson's a legit difference maker right away. If he's on the board at 22, it's pretty easy to see how he could be the best player available. Ravens fans would definitely freak out if he were the pick. The back I am going to pound the table for now on our screen is Israel Abanikanda out of Pitt. He looks to me the perfect back in Todd Monken's system. He's got home run hitting ability. He's decisive with good vision, runs with balance and with power. He's a space player in line with what we've been talking about. Israel's got great hands. He is more dangerous to me than Bijan in the open field. I'm speaking specifically about him receiving on screens and on checkdowns and flares. He's got a little more make you miss in space, and he's got a little more big game, big play to him. I've not seen even one snap out of him in pass protection, and I've watched 5 or 6 games. So that is something to figure out. He'll need to be able to do that. In any case, an impact running back is a slightly under-the-radar need for this year and for next. And Israel is a back I really like.